Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, you've brought us a fascinating source, Competitive Taekwondo by Master Yong Sup Kil.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
Our mission, basically, is to really dig into this and pull out the most valuable knowledge about, what it takes to compete in Taekwondo.
Yeah.
Everything from the everyday grind of training right through to the split-second decisions in a match.
And Master Kil's background is certainly impressive, a four-time Korean national champion, world champion himself. Then he spent years coaching at really elite levels.
Right.
So his book, it really feels like it's packed with practical wisdom, stuff earned through genuine experience in the sport. It covers, a remarkably wide range of topics. Gives us a lot to explore.
Absolutely. And for you listening, whether you're just curious about the, let's say, intricacies of this martial art, maybe you're considering trying it out yourself, or you simply want to understand the intense dedication behind competitive sports. Well, this deep dive is designed to give you a structured and insightful overview. We're going to highlight the key principles, and there are definitely some surprising nuances we'll uncover along the way. Okay, let's unpack this. Starting with where Taekwondo comes from. It has a history stretching back centuries, doesn't it?
It does indeed. Its origins can be traced back over 2,000 years. Initially, it was more a system of self-defense, mainly for the aristocracy back then.
Okay.
Over time, these techniques were refined, developing into specific skills and, even a guiding philosophy that influenced daily life for many people. As its popularity grew, the competitive side naturally emerged. It was a way to test and showcase these skills.
Early on, I gather they had something called Yakusuki, promise sparring. Sounds like a step towards competition, but you mentioned it had limitations.
That's right, yeah. Yakusuki involved prearranged drills. So while it was a move towards a more formalized interaction, because the actions were all agreed upon beforehand, it kind of lacked the spontaneity, that independent decision-making that really defines competitive sports. Athletes wanted something more unpredictable, more dynamic.
Right, the unexpected stuff. That's often where true skill and adaptability really show.
Yeah.
So how do they move from those, like, prearranged drills to the more modern dynamic competition we see today?
Well, a significant step was taken back in 1962. Several key organizations formed, the Korean Taekwondo Association, the Korean Taekwondo Association, and the Korean Amateur Sports Association.
Okay.
Their combined aim was basically to firmly establish Taekwondo as a national sport within Korea. That really laid the foundation for the competitive structures we know now.
It's interesting. The book also really emphasizes the unique relationship between master and student in Taekwondo. It sounds like it's a bond that goes beyond the typical coach-athlete dynamic you see in other sports, right?
It absolutely does. I mean, sure, the coach and athlete work closely together, training, competing.
Yeah.
But in Taekwondo, there's this deeply rooted sense of honor and respect for the master. It's a relationship built on mutual trust, and it goes beyond just the technical stuff. It emphasizes values like courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, and indomitable spirit. Trainees pick up on this cultural framework really quickly. In this deep respect, it can often lead to a stronger adherence to the coach's strategy. Athletes might be more receptive to guidance in high-pressure situations. That can be a key differentiator, especially in individual sports.
So it's not just about executing powerful kicks and strikes. There's a strong ethical component, an emphasis on sportsmanship as well.
Precisely. Correct sporting behavior is considered, paramount. It's about accepting both victory and defeat with fairness, with grace. Master Kil puts it beautifully. He says, when the proper attitude toward winning or losing becomes more important than the actual outcome, that's when an athlete truly embodies the spirit of Taekwondo.
Okay, so we've got the historical context, this strong ethical foundation.
Yeah.
Now let's get into the specifics of competition. The rules themselves, they seem quite detailed.
Yes, the rules are very defined. The idea is to prioritize safety and fair play while specifically highlighting Taekwondo techniques that basically function as action-limiting regulations, meaning only certain techniques are recognized as legitimate for scoring. Athletes have to execute these skills with precision and power, but strictly within those established boundaries.
Let's break down the techniques that are allowed. There seems to be a clear distinction between how you can use your feet and your hands.
That's correct. Foot skills, known as Tae, involve any technique with the foot, but, and this is key, only contact made below the ankle is okay for scoring. Strikes with any other part of the leg or the knee, they're restricted in terms of points.
Okay.
Hand skills, or won, involve a tightly closed fist. Interestingly, punching with the index and middle fingers of the fist is allowed, but only to the torso. Doesn't matter the angle of impact.
And no face punches with hands.
Right. Unlike some other striking arts, punches to the face are not allowed. Only the feet can be used to strike the head in competition.
It's interesting about the hand strike evolution, though. The book mentions different permissible knuckle positions over time.
That's right. Taekwondo has evolved its rules. Now you can punch with knuckles pointing upwards, outwards, or downwards again, only targeting the torso. Uppercut punches, though, they remain prohibited. It just shows how even within these strict rules, there's ongoing refinement.
And there's a pretty comprehensive list of actions that are not allowed. It's more than just where you can hit. It's about general conduct, too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Any attack below the waist is out. Any strikes with the hands above the waist, except those torso punches we mentioned. Things like pulling, grabbing, wrestling, holding, crossing the boundary lines.
Okay.
Intentionally turning your back to avoid fighting, intentionally falling down, generally avoiding the match all restricted. Even unsporting behavior or, remarks from the contestant or their coach can lead to penalties.
And what are the consequences? What happens if a competitor does these things?
There are two main types of penalties. A young go, which is basically a warning. That costs half a point from their score.
Half point, okay.
Then there's a more severe one called gamjim. That results in a full point being awarded to the opponent. And it's given for specific, more serious infractions.
Like what?
Things like attacking after the ref calls for a break, attacking an opponent who's already down, throwing an opponent by grabbing their leg or pushing them over, intentionally hitting a face with your hand, or interrupting the match. Fair play is definitely a cornerstone.
Given the direct contact, mandatory protective gear makes total sense for safety. What exactly do they have to wear?
Yeah, competitors have to wear gear for the forearms, insteps, feet, shins, torso, groin, and head. It's important to note, though, points are only awarded for strikes that make clean contact with the designated trunk protector,
Oh.
and specifically excluding the spine and the back of the head for safety reasons.
And how are points actually awarded? What makes a hit count?
Okay, so 1 point is awarded for a successful legal attack landing on that trunk protector. A higher value, 2 points, is given for a direct strike to the head or face that includes the area around the ears.
2 points for the head, right?
Plus, crucially, 1 additional point can be added if the opponent is knocked down to the mat or becomes so unbalanced that the referee starts a mandatory count. That's often called standing down.
Ah, I see.
And notice how that higher point value for head kicks really incentivizes developing those techniques. It often leads to some pretty dynamic, sometimes risky moves.
So with these restrictions on hand strikes, it really sounds like developing and executing sophisticated foot techniques is front and center in competitive Taekwondo.
That's a key takeaway, absolutely. Because using hands effectively for scoring is limited, developing highly refined, powerful foot techniques becomes essential for racking up points. The rules actively discourage stuff that looks like wrestling, just trying to unbalance or take down someone. It really emphasizes skillful striking with the feet.
It's interesting, though, that even with all the protective gear, the actual force or power of a strike isn't inherently limited by the rules.
Exactly. Direct, forceful hitting is permitted, as long as you're wearing the gear correctly. Master Kil makes a good point that this element of striking power, which is so vital in a real match, you just can't accurately assess it in non-sparring stuff like pooms or yaksak-yurgi.
Right.
That's why these rules, allowing for direct impact in competitive sparring, are so critical to the sport's spirit and development.
Okay, we've got a good handle on the history and the specific rules. Let's shift focus now to what it takes to be a competitor, the mindset, the importance of setting effective goals.
Yeah, cultivating that competitive mentality, it's an ongoing process. It really starts with building confidence through consistent, focused practice. As your technical skills get better, so does your belief in your ability to perform under pressure.
And the book stresses setting specific performance benchmarks within matches as part of goal setting.
Absolutely. These goals could be anything from, say, successfully landing a particular kick a certain number of times in a bout, to consciously trying to improve your reaction time to what your opponent does.
Right.
Participating in local competitions, goodwill games, that's highlighted as a great way to test and refine your strategies and reaction speeds in a slightly lower stakes environment.
It makes total sense that simulating actual match conditions would be incredibly valuable. I mean, training in a gym is one thing, but the unpredictable nature of real competition is completely different.
Precisely. Any chance to authentically replicate match circumstances is invaluable for development. It helps athletes manage that pre-competition anxiety, learn to control the adrenaline rush,
Uh-huh.
build crucial self-assurance, sharpen their ability to read opponents, and just gain practical experience across a wider range of potential scenarios. Like Master Kill says, the controlled gym environment just can't fully replicate the learning that comes from stepping into the ring.
The book also digs into the very real experience of performance slumps. That's a common challenge in any sport, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Slumps can stem from a mix of things. Often interconnected, they often become more apparent later in a tough training cycle.
What kind of things contribute?
While psychological factors like built up emotional tension, the effects of overtraining, just physical and mental fatigue, disappointment maybe if you feel you're not progressing physically, training disruptions from injury,
Right.
frustration with referee calls and matches, or even just the effect of losing a few times despite preparing hard.
Huh.
It's a complex mix of mental and physical state.
It's telling that Master Kill shares that personal story about coaching a fatigue athlete who lost despite having clear chances to win. Really underscores the impact of both physical exhaustion and psychological pressure.
That story is very revealing, yeah. The athlete had the skills, technically speaking, but was just physically drained from earlier rounds. Plus, there was the psychological weight of knowing his opponent was a gold medalist from another big international event.
Wow.
That just eroded his confidence further, impacted his mindset. It powerfully shows how essential it is to address both the physical prep and that often invisible but equally crucial mental side for consistent success.
He also mentions his own experience with injury and recovery, emphasizing the mental game during that downtime.
Exactly. He talks about using visualization repeatedly, watching match recordings, mentally putting himself back in the ring. He even set ambitious goals for his return, all while physically recovering. It highlights the power of staying mentally engaged, that unwavering belief you can come back, maybe even stronger.
And in the heat of a match, adaptability is absolutely key, isn't it? You can't just stick to one plan.
Absolutely not. A successful Taekwondo athlete has to be constantly assessing, adapting to the opponent's strategy, the shifting tactics of the match itself. Ultimately, winning or losing comes down to effectively using your physical strength, implementing smart strategies, maintaining emotional control under pressure, and skillfully executing your techniques.
It sounds like there are so many different elements that feed into it. The book lists a whole range of influences on skill improvement and competitive ability.
It's a really comprehensive overview. It covers things like your practice conditions, your age, personality traits, physical strength, technical level, competitive experience, motivation, even the environment around you. Plus, how effective your instructor's methods are and how much you as the trainee actually buy into and implement those methods. That significantly impacts your progress. It's a truly holistic view of development.
Okay, so we've explored the mindset, the goal setting. Now let's get into the practicalities of training to win. The book starts with the fundamental formula for power in Taekwondo.
Yes, the core idea is power equals mass x speed. Simple physics, really. But applied to Taekwondo, it basically means kicking strong means kicking fast. Master Kill then details several specific ways to enhance kicking speed.
Like what? What are some concrete things a practitioner can focus on to get faster kicks?
Well, he points out that kicking with the front leg from a more upright stance is usually quicker than from a lower centered stance. Also, having your weight slightly over the front leg allows for faster execution compared to weight on the rear leg. Engaging your whole body movement in a kick or punch increases the range of motion and so potential speed.
Right, using the whole kinetic chain.
Exactly. He also notes forward kicks like snap kicks and axe kicks are generally faster than rear or rotational kicks like round kicks or back kicks, simply because they need less initial torso rotation.
Interesting point about executing combination kicks in a single flowing line to enhance speed. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, think about doing a round kick right into a spin back kick or a round kick flowing into a hook kick, because the momentum from the first kick is already moving your body in the right general direction for the second.
I see.
The transition between them can be much quicker, more fluid. You minimize wasted movement, maximize the overall speed of the combo. Finally, he emphasizes flexibility. Working on flexibility through breath control or a powerful gi-hap that yell
Oh, yes.
can help relax the body, reduce internal muscle resistance, and ultimately contribute to generating more speed.
The book then discusses different practice methods. Concentration practice versus allocation practice. What's the difference?
Okay, so concentration method is basically focusing on repeating one specific skill over and over for a sustained time with little or no rest.
Got it. Reps, reps, reps.
Pretty much. Allocation method, on the other hand, involves putting rest periods into the session and usually practicing a variety of different skills, not just hammering one thing.
And when would you use one over the other?
Allocation is often better over longer training periods, like a whole day or week. It keeps things fresh, helps avoid boredom or mental fatigue from just doing one thing.
Makes sense.
Concentration method can be really valuable for shorter, focused sessions, especially, say, for correcting basic mistakes in a beginner's technique by breaking it down what Master Kil calls partial practice.
Mm.
It's also great for competitive athletes right before a big event, when a specific technique needs to be absolutely perfect, ingrained, maybe even using visualization to plan specific attack or counter scenarios, and then drilling those exact sequences until they're automatic. Like visualizing a counter to a common attack, then drilling just that until it's pure instinct.
And within those methods, you mentioned partial practice versus whole practice. Break that down.
Exactly. Partial practice is systematically breaking down a complex skill into its individual parts and practicing each part alone. Really good for beginners, lets them master each fundamental bit before putting it all together.
Right.
But even advanced athletes use it to fine-tune specific aspects that might be weak. For example, a complex combo like a fake, then a step, then a double round spin back kick. You could break that down. Practice the fake, practice the step, practice the kick, then reassemble it.
And the whole practice.
Whole practice is best for things like pooms, forms, complex combination kicks, or multi-step strategies, where the focus is on practicing the entire sequence as one single unified movement over and over.
Now, there's an interesting point about the relationship between speed and accuracy. It's often seen as a trade-off, isn't it?
That's the constant challenge, yeah. To get really high accuracy, you often have to slow down a tiny bit. And when you go for maximum speed, pure pinpoint accuracy might suffer initially.
So how do you balance that?
The key is to consciously focus on the priority speed or accuracy during a specific drill, depending on what you're trying to learn right then, and then gradually work on integrating the other element over time through more practice.
It's interesting what the book says about how referees might perceive a scoring strike, suggesting accuracy is weighted more heavily.
Yeah, Master Kill suggests a ref's subjective view might be influenced by maybe 70% accuracy hitting the target and 30% perceived impact or power. But he also wisely points out that sometimes a really powerful strike, even if it's slightly off target, can still be seen as a valid score because of its sheer force. Plus, exceptional speed can sometimes make up for minor inaccuracies by landing before the opponent can react. Or a flurry of fast techniques can create confusion and lead to a score. But ultimately, a balance of both accuracy and power, delivered with the right speed, that's the most effective.
The training regimen described also includes more advanced stuff, beyond just basic kicks and strikes.
Absolutely. It covers a range of more complex things. Running kicks, combination kicks that strategically use feints, steps, even punches, jumping kicks, turning kicks, specific counter-kicking techniques designed to exploit opponents' attacks.
Right.
Different kinds of sparring, like running sparring and step sparring. Paddle drills are crucial, too, for reaction time and target accuracy, especially when the paddle appears unexpectedly.
And the kicking bag.
Essential for building raw power. Allows focused practice of attacks and counterattacks, often incorporating steps, jumps, punches. Regular free sparring under match conditions. Dedicated mental training exercises, also vital. And of course, staying updated on any rule changes is crucial for any serious competitor.
Now, before even getting into all that advanced stuff, the book really emphasizes properly warming up and stretching.
Yeah.
It's clearly not just a quick thing you do beforehand.
Not at all. Warming up and stretching are absolutely fundamental. They prepare the body for the specific demands of Taekwondo, sparring lots of dynamic movements we don't do in daily life.
Right.
Good flexibility is key for executing attacks and counters at a higher level. Lets your muscles and joints move through their full range smoothly, efficiently. This flexibility, combined with explosive power, not only maximizes your technical ability, but also plays a big role in preventing muscle strains and other common injuries. And you need to approach flexibility training gradually, consistently, just like aerobic conditioning or strength work.
What's the general routine recommended for effectively warming up and stretching?
The book suggests starting with some preparatory aerobic exercise, jumping rope, light jogging to gradually raise core body temperature and get blood flowing to the muscles.
Okay.
Then, transition into a comprehensive stretching routine to relax muscles and improve joint mobility before the more demanding practice starts. The main session should begin at a relatively simple intensity and progressively increase. Finally, a cool-down period followed by more stretching is important at the end. Helps return muscles to their resting state, reduces soreness.
How long should stretching take?
Recommended duration varies. In a warm environment, maybe 10 to 20 minutes is enough. In a cooler place, you might need to stretch until you break a light sweat to get the desired muscle relaxation. Before a competitive match, though, a more thorough session, 30 to 40 minutes, is ideal for optimal readiness.
The book provides a pretty detailed list of specific warm-up exercises and stretching routines.
Yes, it does. Warm-up examples include mild aerobics like jumping rope, jumping jacks, then dynamic movements, standing elbow to knee touches, neck rotations, shoulder rotations, hip rotations, various knee and leg exercises like squats and knee rotations, half windmills, upper body torso rotations, light punches while running in place, waist twists, even gentle eyeball rotations. Recommends about 15-30 seconds on each.
And the stretching part.
Covers a wide range of static stretches, shoulder, side stretches, forward bends for hamstrings, various leg stretches like calf stretches, inner thigh stretches, the butterfly for the groin, seated spinal twists for the back, hurdler stretch, side kick stretches, different splits variations, lower back and hip stretches like knees to chest, cycling motions, even back bend for flexible folks, and a running ready stance stretch. For static stretches, it generally advises holding each one for 30 to 60 seconds to allow the muscle to lengthen properly.
And beyond just preparing the body, the book also tackles injury prevention and initial treatment. It's an inherent risk in any physical sport, right?
Absolutely. Even the best prepared athletes can get injured, unfortunately. The main goal is to proactively minimize those risks as much as possible through proper training and prep.
What are common Taekwondo injuries?
Things like sprains and strains affecting the instep, toes, ankles, knees, muscle injuries in the calf, thigh, hamstrings. Often these can be traced back to poor training habits, inadequate warm-ups, or doing drills that are too intense for the athlete's current condition. Lack of mental concentration during training or excessive muscle tension during techniques can also decrease flexibility and increase injury risk.
So what strategies does the book outline for preventing these common injuries?
It strongly emphasizes promoting flexibility through lots of stretching and preparatory movement drills before every session. Advises a progressive approach to training, gradually increasing difficulty and intensity. Mastering the basics, using correct body mechanics and stances consistently, that's crucial. Developing balanced muscular power throughout the body provides support. And finally, selecting sparring drills that are right for your current condition and skill level is essential to avoid overexertion.
And if an injury does happen, what's the recommended initial approach?
Prompt and appropriate first aid is key to minimizing severity. Taking immediate temporary measures until a medical specialist can evaluate properly. The main principles: stay calm, carefully assess the situation, ensure the person is breathing okay, call for professional help if it looks serious, and be ready to explain exactly how it happened. Tournaments usually have dedicated medical staff on site. For specific, less severe issues, the book offers practical advice. Gentle massage and warm towels for muscle tension, cold compresses or ice for bruises to reduce swelling and pain, and the classic RICE-E protocol: rest, ice, compression with foam bandage, and elevation for sprains. Resting the injured area is vital. Ice is highlighted as a generally useful first aid tool for reducing inflammation and pain in many minor injuries.
It also mentions taping.
Yeah, briefly touches on athletic taping as a preventative measure or to support healing, especially for ankles, insteps, toes. Outlines the basic materials needed. Advises athletes to be aware of event rules about extra padding if competing with minor injuries, and always seek medical advice at tournaments if unsure about severity.
So a really comprehensive approach to physical prep, from flexibility right through to injury management. Okay, let's move on to developing the core physical attributes essential for success. Strength, explosive power, endurance, and agility. These are all interconnected, aren't they?
They are indeed. These fundamental physical elements work together for performance in the ring. Strength provides the foundation for powerful movements. Explosive power enables quick, forceful actions like kicks. Endurance lets you sustain high effort throughout a match. And agility gives you the ability to control your body with both speed and power for rapid direction changes and effective maneuvering.
Let's dig into each one. What specific strength training exercises does the book recommend for Taekwondo?
For strength relevant to Taekwondo, it suggests exercises like various leg lifts for hip flexors extensors, rabbit jumps, series of small jumps, and a low squat.
Oh.
The duck walk moving forward in a very low squat, different squats like feet together, shoulder width, single-legged for balance, partner squats for resistance, and aerobic activities that also build lower body strength. Jumping rope, stairs, uphill, downhill running, sometimes adding kicks during uphill sprints, and running in place with partner resistance using a band.
Explosive power sounds particularly crucial for those fast, impactful kicks. How do you train for that kind of power?
Explosive power is absolutely key for quick, forceful kicks and for initiating rapid preemptive impacts. Recommended exercises include running in place or forward while bringing knees forcefully up to waist height, slapping them with hands.
Right.
Frog long jump for horizontal power, jumping vertically, bringing knees to chest. Flying side splits jump for hip abduction, jumping, bringing heels to rear. Consistent jump rope, interval running sprints, alternating with recovery sprint and touchdown drills. And again, resisted running with a partner.
And endurance. Building the stamina to keep going in a potentially long, tough match.
Endurance in Taekwondo is mainly about sustaining repetitive dynamic movements that tax your breathing, heart rate, and muscles over time. The book also touches on the mental side, learning to overcome the pain and fatigue that inevitably come. Techniques like visualization, listening to motivating music, mental distraction to push through discomfort. It highlights the risk of losing chances late in a match due to lack of endurance speed and power drop-off. A specific drill mentioned is jumping over a partner's back, and it underscores the benefit of any extracurricular aerobic activity like soccer or basketball for overall cardio endurance.
Agility is the final piece. Controlling your body with power and speed for quick, precise movements. What exercises help develop agility for Taekwondo?
Agility is critical for effective attacks and counters, quick weight shifting, overall maneuverability in the ring. Step sparring drills are a direct way to improve agility and reaction time.
Makes sense.
Other suggested exercises: running in place focusing on quick feet, zigzag running, speed kicks with rapid footwork adjustments, sideways running and small quick steps, paddle sparring emphasizing fast reactions, and again, sports like soccer and basketball inherently demand agility. The book also notes agility and reaction times can change with age, which is why age divisions exist in competitions.
Okay, covered the foundational physical attributes. Now, moving on to specific technical skills, starting with mastering kicking and blocking. What are some fundamental principles here?
A key principle for effective kicking is to always quickly rechamber your kicking leg immediately after the strike. Leaving it extended makes you vulnerable to counters and disrupts your balance.
Ah, right. Pull it back quickly.
Exactly. Rechambering also helps move your torso out of their striking range. Also, maintaining a slightly lowered stance with knees bent and flexible is crucial for generating power and maintaining balance and agility. Consistent, focused repetition of all parts of the kick weight shift, balance, stance, speed, power, foot position, distance control is essential for building muscle memory, making techniques instinctive under pressure.
And blocking and punching seem closely related, especially at close range.
Exactly. Blocking and hand strikes are often used when opponents are close. A well-timed punch can sometimes strategically create a momentary opening in their guard, allowing a follow-up scoring kick if they aren't defending actively. Conversely, if they attack at close range, effectively blocking their kick can create the distance needed for you to launch your own preferred kicks.
Interesting that the book says punches rarely result in direct scoring points.
That's a key point. Because face punches are illegal, the scoring potential of hand strikes is limited to the torso. While a clear visual displacement or a loud sound on the trunk protector might occasionally influence the refs, punches are often seen as secondary to kicks for scoring and might not get much direct consideration. The book does outline some common effective blocking and punching techniques for various situations, though, like blocking an incoming kick with one arm while simultaneously punching, using open palm blocks against face-body attacks, folding arms to block a back kick, raising an arm against axe crescent kicks, using a double low block, or extending arms in a clinch to block an axe kick.
Now, footwork, obviously critical. The book dedicates a whole chapter to stepping and footwork. Let's explore some core concepts.
One fundamental technique is bounding in place, basically. A continuous, light bouncing on the balls of your feet, weight mostly there too, not on the heels.
Why do that?
Several reasons. Makes it much easier and faster to shift weight forward or backward for attacks or counters. Creates a visual illusion of constant movement, making it harder for the opponent to predict your next move. Keeps leg joints slightly flexed, ready for rapid movement. Subtle faking motions with the feet are often mixed into this bounding to further disguise intentions.
We also hear about specific steps, like the shuffle step. What's its purpose?
The shuffle step is mainly used to quickly close distance while keeping balance and weight centered. Done with slightly bent knees, heels slightly lifted for acceleration, can be both feet moving together in a short slide, or leading with front or rear foot, depending on the situation. Key is, it should look like one fluid, continuous movement, not distinct steps.
And the running step or quick step, how's that used?
The running step involves bringing the rear leg forward, kind of like a short running stride. Allows a rapid weight shift back onto that newly positioned rear leg, immediately readying you for a powerful rear leg kick. It's a way to quickly generate momentum in close distance while setting up a strong attack.
There's also the more advanced 180-degree forward step, tornado step, or turning kick. Sounds tricky.
It is more complex, yeah. Involves rapidly turning your whole body 180 degrees forward, often combined with a round or axe kick. Can be done with or without a jump. Often used by lighter, more agile athletes because the full torso turn can generate considerable power and surprise, plus helps close distance quickly. But you need excellent balance and control to pull it off without leaving yourself open.
Backward steps are obviously important for defense, creating space, setting up counters. What are the key backward techniques?
Absolutely. Backward steps are primarily used defensively first to evade an attack, then strategically create an opening for a well-timed counter. Vital to maintain balance, moving back weight-centered, knees bent. Similar to the forward shuffle, you can move back with both feet sliding together or leading with rear or front foot. There's also a specific one-step straight back where the heel doesn't touch the ground, allowing an immediate spring back, and a one-step back at 45 degrees, helping move laterally while retreating.
Interesting point about the trade-offs in your base of support narrow versus wide. Advantages and disadvantages to each, right?
Exactly. A narrower stance generally allows more speed and agility for attack and counter, letting you move and react faster. But it can sometimes make it harder to generate maximum power and might compromise stability, making you easier to push off balance.
And wider.
A wider stance gives a more stable, grounded base. Good for generating powerful kicks and resisting being moved, but it can sometimes hinder quick movement or rapid direction changes. The optimal stance often depends on the specific technique and the immediate tactical situation. Ultimately, foot positions and angles can and should be varied based on physical condition, preferred techniques, and the fight's demands.
Now let's talk about positioning relative to the opponent at the start, the different competitive stances. The book mentions closed and open stances. What's the difference?
Okay, in a closed stance, both competitors face each other with the same foot forward. So if they have their right foot forward, you have your right foot forward too.
Got it.
In an open stance, both fighters are looking roughly the same direction, mirroring foot positions. If they have right foot forward, you have your left foot forward, and vice versa.
And then the book describes 3 specific sparring stances: basic attack, sideways, and neutral. What are the characteristics and purposes?
Right. In all 3, foot distance is important, usually shoulder width or slightly wider for stability. Bent knees are crucial for a lower center of gravity, enhancing stability and allowing quicker movements.
So the basic attack stance.
Weight relatively even between feet, both feet angled roughly the same, pointing towards the opponent. Generally good for initiating attacks, allows using either front or rear foot effectively. Slightly lifting heels helps quick forward movement. Flex knees suit snap kicks, round kicks, axe kicks, front counter kicks. Potential weakness. The torso position can sometimes make it slightly slower for generating speed in certain turning kicks, like spin back or hook kicks.
Neutral stance.
Feet at about a right angle to each other, torso slightly angled towards opponent. Kind of an intermediary position between the attack and sideways stances.
It's a backward stance.
Offers significant flexibility for side kicks, using sliding pulling steps, front leg kicks, and both offensive-defensive spin back hook kicks. However, the background kick might be slightly slower due to the torso angle. Both feet are typically angled the same direction, roughly perpendicular to the opponent.
Now we're getting into the more subtle strategic stuff, using feints effectively and mastering timing. Feinting is basically about deception, isn't it?
Precisely. Feinting, or faking, is a tactic to deliberately mislead your opponent. Gain a strategic advantage by hiding your real attack, ideally get a specific reaction from them. A feint is basically starting a skill or technique without fully executing it. You can build a feint from almost any step, kick, or footwork pattern,
And the purpose.
often to fish for a response, subtly throw them off balance or mentally, and ultimately create a vulnerable opening you can then exploit with your real attack.
And attacks can be direct or indirect, with feints key for setting up those more effective indirect ones.
Yes, good way to think about it. Direct attack goes straight for a target. Indirect attack uses a feint or preparatory step first to create a better situation for the actual attack. While a successful preemptive direct attack is great, using feints often adds tactical complexity that can lead to even better scoring chances by manipulating their reactions.
Interesting, though, that even feinting itself carries risks if not done right.
It certainly does. A poorly timed or obvious feint can actually expose your vulnerabilities, leave you momentarily off balance or out of position. Remember, while you're trying to read and influence them with feints, they're also looking for their chance to attack.
Right.
So even while feinting, you need to stay defensively aware. But done skillfully, a well-placed feint can draw out a specific attack you're ready to counter or reveal a weakness in their defense you can then target.
The book gives several examples of different feint types.
Yeah.
Subtle body-foot movements, more overt kick feints.
Exactly. Body feints might be slight eye shifts, shoulder movements, minor hip rotations suggesting a technique. Foot feints could be just lifting, dropping the front foot, a quick short step forward, backward, suggesting distance change.
Kick feint.
Raising the knee as if to kick, partially extending the leg without follow-through, or even starting to turn the torso for a spinning kick, then quickly returning. Even basic things like a sudden stance change, body twist, skip or jump, head turn, or starting a clinch can be used strategically as feints. Being aware of your opponent's feinting patterns is also crucial. Gives clues about their likely strategies and weaknesses. Recommended to practice feints in a mirror to refine body language and against different partners to see how they react.
Okay, let's shift to the crucial element of timing. Seems like it's all about recognizing and capitalizing on those fleeting moments of opportunity during a fight.
Absolutely. Good timing lets you effectively dodge an attack and then launch your own counter with speed and maximum power. The ability to accurately recognize and then exploit those brief windows of vulnerability or opportunity that inevitably pop up in the dynamic flow of a match is critical for scoring effectively and avoiding getting hit. Conversely, a fighter who struggles with timing too late or too early will likely find it hard to land effective strikes and be much more vulnerable.
And good timing isn't just reactive. It's key for initiating successful preemptive attacks, too.
Precisely. With well-honed timing, you can confidently initiate preemptive attacks, influencing their reaction, taking advantage of any improper movements, stance shifts, hesitation, fatigue, or even their tendency to move back. However, it's generally smart to first check their readiness with subtle feints before launching a full attack, especially against known counterattackers. Lets you gauge their likely reaction and adjust your timing.
Interesting point about simultaneous counterattacks, even potentially sacrificing a minor point for a bigger score.
That speaks to a high level of tactical understanding, yeah? The best time for a simultaneous counter is often when the opponent is launching their own attack, or when they've been baited into a move by your feint. Using their forward momentum against them can potentially increase your counter's impact.
Trading blows, essentially.
In some strategic situations, an experienced fighter might even be willing to absorb a minor hit, knowing their own simultaneous counter has a high chance of landing harder and potentially scoring more like a head kick after their body kick. But these exchanges are risky. You're accepting giving up a point, hoping for a bigger reward.
Dodging an attack and then immediately launching a well-timed counter is another critical timing skill.
Yes. That involves quickly moving out of the attack's path, stepping back or sideways, and then seizing the precise moment to launch your counter. Opportunity often arises when their feet are in the air kicking, just as their foot lands and they're less mobile, or if their attack leaves them off balance. This strategy can be particularly effective against faster opponents or those with a consistently aggressive forward style. Sidestepping and countering from an angle is another valuable variation. The key is developing the ability to intuitively sense their movements and react with the right skill at the right speed, right moment. Refined timing comes mainly from countless repetitions and sparring drills.
The book specifically lists some preferred preemptive attack skills experienced competitors often use. What are some of those?
They include various kicks to the trunk, like round kick, back kick, pushing kick, and techniques to the face, like down axe kick, round kick, front hook kick, spin hook kick. Often, the first couple of attacks a fighter tries are pre-planned based on their assessment. But truly exceptional fighters can seamlessly transition between attacking and counterattacking continuously, based on the opponent's ongoing movements, making instantaneous adjustments honed through years of training.
Okay, covered crucial physical skills, tactical considerations.
Hmm.
Now let's delve into the often overlooked but vital aspect, developing the mind of a champion. Mental fortitude is just as essential as physical prowess, isn't it?
Absolutely. Successful athletes in any field have strong confidence. This inner belief is the bedrock of psychological stability. It enables them to perform consistently under pressure, manage pre-competition anxiety, maintain sharp concentration amidst distractions, and vividly visualize victory. Confidence provides that crucial foundation for psychological resilience. Combine this mental toughness with physical strength and honed skills, and you've got a potent competitive combination.
The book really emphasizes confidence's role in controlling anxiety and maintaining focus in high-pressure situations.
Yes. Strong self-confidence acts as a buffer against the psychological stress and anxiety, often more pronounced in individual sports like Taekwondo, where you bear sole responsibility. Tension and anxiety can come from many internal external things: pressure, lack of belief in prep, past negative experiences. That tension often peaks right before the match starts. But exceptional athletes have cultivated the ability to find inner calm and maintain control even then.
What are some common ways this tension and anxiety manifest, physically and mentally?
Physically, you might see increased heart rate, blood pressure, sweaty palms feet, frequent urge to urinate, noticeable muscle rigidity, which ironically can impair speed, fluidity, balance.
Right, counterproductive.
Psychologically, anxiety can lead to unease, confusion, lack of concentration, lack of self-confidence, diminished desire to compete, even a paralyzing fear of failure. Behaviorally, an anxious athlete might fidget excessively, avoid eye contact, seem generally distracted.
It's quite sobering that this anxiety can potentially derail even the most physically prepared athletes.
It's a profoundly significant factor. An athlete brilliant in training can sometimes falter unexpectedly in a real match due to inability to manage that anxiety. Interestingly, a close loss can sometimes increase future motivation, but it can also lead to discouragement, declining confidence. Often, perceived failures in competition can ultimately be traced back to failing to overcome these critical mental and emotional hurdles.
So how can athletes effectively learn to control this performance anxiety? The book mentions both physical and psychological methods.
Yes, Master Kill outlines several effective strategies. Physical methods mainly involve breath control and muscle relaxation techniques. Deep, controlled breathing naturally helps calm the nervous system, reduce tension and anxiety, and can even increase flexibility by promoting muscle relaxation.
How does the breathing technique work?
The book describes one involving slow, deep inhalations through the nose, holding briefly, then exhaling slowly through the mouth while engaging abdominal muscles. Progressive muscle relaxation, systematically tensing, then consciously releasing different muscle groups, is another powerful physical technique for releasing built-up tension.
And the psychological methods.
Often revolve around positive self-talk. Consciously clearing your mind of negative thoughts, focusing instead on past successes, positive training outcomes, your abilities, transforming negative internal dialogue into positive mantras like "I can do this," and vividly visualizing successful execution and achieving goals can significantly boost mental state and reduce anxiety.
Concentration is another key mental skill. More than just paying attention. It's a focused technique that needs development.
Exactly. Concentration isn't innate. It's a psychological skill improved with dedicated practice. In a one-on-one sport like Taekwondo, unwavering focus is paramount. It's the seamless synchronization of mental concentration and physical abilities that allows precise, effective execution under pressure. Strong focus reflects mental drive, desire to achieve goals, appetite for winning. It's often the critical factor separating consistent winners from those struggling to reach their potential.
What common factors can disrupt concentration during training, or crucially during a match?
Several things, internal and external. Overconfidence leading to lack of preparation. Lack of self-confidence from anxiety, fear of failure. Dwelling on past mistakes, injuries, unfair ref decisions. The dynamic match situation itself, score shifts, interruptions. Even external distractions like weather, unfamiliar environment, spectators.
So if concentration is a skill, how can athletes actively train and improve it?
Consistent, focused practice is key again. Many physical drills, partner drills, paddle drills, hitting specific targets, inherently develop target accuracy, timing, speed, all requiring high mental focus. Progressively linking basic skills into complex sequences also demands sustained concentration to coordinate movements. Repetition builds muscle memory and synchronizes mind and muscle, leading to more automatic, focused performance.
Finally, the book delves into the power of visualization or mental imagery, mentally rehearsing potential scenarios.
Visualization involves actively, consciously engaging your mind in a simulated match, imagining different opponent attack-defense strategies, proactively preparing your own counters defenses, even mentally thinking through how you'd react tactically if losing late in a bout.
How does that help?
This mental pre-planning makes you feel significantly more in control when facing similar situations for real. It demonstrably improves coping with unexpected challenges, sharpens concentration by focusing mental energy, builds self-confidence by mentally rehearsing success, and ultimately enhances judgment and decision-making under pressure.
What are some specific visualization techniques athletes can use?
One effective technique is regularly watching recordings of sanctioned matches, domestic and international. Actively analyze competitors, styles, how they handle situations. Make mental notes. Try to mentally place yourself in those scenarios. Imagine your reaction. Another powerful method involves more active imagination. Watching a match, pick an athlete. Consciously imagine yourself as their opponent. Make it personal, vivid, maybe close your eyes to enhance imagery. Mentally play out the match from your perspective. Focus specifically on visualizing yourself successfully executing your key techniques. Mentally memorize the feeling. Even engage in free imagery, mentally practicing new skills tactics as if in a real match. Extremely valuable for developing coping ability and quick strategic adaptation in the heat of competition.
Okay, explored the critical mental aspects. Now let's move to practical application in training specifically. Targeted drilling for competition. Linking fundamentals to the dynamic demands of a real fight.
Exactly. Competitive sparring is the culmination of all that training. It's where you link basic techniques with more advanced professional training. The book points out that statistical analysis often shows certain kicks, round kick, axe kick, back kick, and combinations including punches tend to score higher.
So the drills focus on those.
Often, yeah. The drilling exercises emphasized tend to focus on these high-percentage techniques. Training progresses, training alone, mirror, equipment, then with partners groups. Simulation sparring, mimicking real match conditions, is crucial for competitive experience and identifying your most effective techniques, your specialty, so to speak.
Let's talk attack drills first. Focus seems to be on moving forward effectively while attacking.
Yes. In competition, you need to kick not just from a stationary stance, but also while actively moving forward offensively. Requires good balance, leg strength to maintain momentum and stay upright, ready for follow-up actions.
What kind of footwork?
The book outlines various patterns. Pulling step, running forward step, tornado step, all can be combined with basic kicks like the knee round kick. Line drills, practicing moving along a line while repeating these step kick combos, are valuable for coordination and fluidity.
Drilling with a partner using training paddles is another key exercise mentioned. What are the benefits?
Paddle kick drills mainly enhance target accuracy, contact power, follow-through, distance control, and overall gross motor coordination. You can incorporate many different kicks. Typically, one partner holds paddles, stationary or moving. The other kick
Or more advanced versions?
can involve combining different footwork, bouncing, switching feet, shuffle, pulling, forward, running, tornado, cut-pushing steps with specific kicks like rear round or axe kick, often done in sets like 10 reps or timed intervals. To add surprise and enhance reaction target recognition, the partner holding can move the paddle unpredictably.
Chest pad kicking drills using the hogu are also highlighted. Focus there.
Similar to paddles, improve accuracy on the torso target, power on contact, gross motor coordination. Also commonly combine various footwork patterns with powerful kicks like rear round or axe. Striking a padded target gives a better sense of impact and penetration.
And the kicking bag, still a staple training tool.
Invaluable for developing raw kicking power and getting a physical feel for impact against a solid object. Lets you practice a wide variety of kicks and punches repetitively focused. Effective bag drills often incorporate footwork like bouncing, switching feet, shuffle steps to simulate sparring movement, and integrate footwork with strikes.
The book also includes drills focused on backward stepping. Given their importance in defense countering, what kinds are recommended?
Yes, even moving back, weight is typically kept slightly forward for quick transitions back to attack. You practice consciously shifting weight back and forth after each backward step to stay ready to kick. Drills often involve practicing backward steps then immediately reversing forward again. Specific backward steps like shuffle back, three ways, Rear foot first, front foot first, both together, and one step straight back are practiced repeatedly. These are then often combined with counter kicks, like the rear knee round kick, using various backward steps to create distance angle for the counter.
Partner drills seem invaluable for real-time interaction and reaction. What partner-based footwork drills are suggested?
Absolutely. The book describes one for reaction time, quick footwork, agility. Two partners face off. Partner A attacks with forward step. Partner B immediately reacts with a backward step to evade. Repeat, often in sets of 10, so both practice attacking forward and reacting backward.
Counter-kicking drills with a partner are obviously essential. Examples?
Designed to improve reaction time, distance control, quick footwork, counterattack accuracy, various kicks can be incorporated. Common example. Partner A attacks forward with a kick. Partner B focuses on reacting the moment A's kick starts to drop, then launches a predetermined counter. Precise timing is absolutely crucial here.
There are also specific paddle kick drills for counterattacking with a partner. How do those differ from regular attack-focused ones?
Counter drills specifically enhance reaction time, distance control, counter power, follow-through, target accuracy. One partner holds paddles defensively or presents them based on the other's simulated attack. Often wear chest protection for practicing powerful spin-back kicks.
What kind of counter techniques?
Examples practiced with paddles include shuffling back, then front foot axe kick with pulling half step, 180-degree turn, then rear round kick,
Yes.
spin back kick, stationary after shuffle back or jump, spin hook kick, same variations. Counter, usually triggered when attacker drops their initial pick, can be full contact to feel impact, practice reading reaction timing, often no blocks used, to focus purely on the reactive strike.
And the kicking bag for counterattacking. How's that structured?
Using the bag for counters focuses on power and accuracy. Often, a partner holds a body shield chest pad against the bag, simulating an attacker. Practitioner practices counter kicks, like rear round kick, while incorporating backward steps, shuffle one step back, pulling half step, to create space angle.
Sidestep knee round kicks with a partner seem specific. What elements are developed there?
Excellent for developing precise timing, efficient weight shifts, balance during lateral movement, overall reaction time. Involve combining various side steps with knee round kicks, often continuously or in response to a partner's simulated attack.
Basic kick combinations, 2 or 3 moves, also important. How are those practiced?
Linking 2 or 3 techniques fluidly is crucial for a dynamic offensive style, often practiced with a partner holding paddles. Emphasis on smooth weight shifts, balance, flexibility, making combinations automatic, instinctive. Examples: double round kick, often preceded by various setups, in place, switch feet, forward running step, can also be done as line drills.
Line drills seem versatile, used for developing forward movement skills.
Yes, forward motion line drills involve practicing kicks while moving forward along the training area. Dusheng. Excellent for correcting technique flaws, building speed momentum, improving balance, developing agility, center of gravity sense in motion, enhancing flexibility, increasing cardio endurance.
How do they work?
Basic idea. Execute a designated kick combo repeatedly while running end-to-end. Concentration increases with complex combos. Round, double round, round spin back, cut push round, often adding steps fakes. Return to start in sparring stance. Prepare for next drill. Maintaining flexible knees is crucial for weight transfer momentum. Power comes from push-off from knee foot, waist twist, hip rotation. Upper body loose, arms swing for momentum balance. Spring-like body recoil. Examples: basic near round kicks, combos with feints, combos with feint steps.
The book also mentions line drills, specifically for sparring scenarios. How do those differ?
Sparring line drills usually have 2 lines facing each other. First line attacks forward, second line simultaneously blocks and counters while moving backward. Roles reverse at the end. Knee kicks, often preferred for these reaction drills, emphasizing quick reaction, automatic defense. Book gives examples of attack counter sequences.
Finally, the drilling chapter mentions intensified training drills and Master Kil's own icing the cake methods. Sounds like advanced stuff for peak performance.
Yes, intensified drills push athletes to the next level of endurance stamina. Focus on explosive speed, quick direction changes, non-stop blocking defense builds stamina, resilience. Specific drills mentioned: cut kick with punches, frontier foot, axe kick, frontier, pushing kick, in place forward step running, back kick, rear foot, various steps.
On the icing the cake.
Master Kil's personal experience methods. One is raising the knee, builds quad strength, hamstring flexibility, fast kick speed via high knee running in place, touching hands, slow to fast intervals, 60+ seconds, increasing intensity. The other is twisting the waist and hip, crucial for flexibility power in kicks distance techniques. Standing, hands behind head, twisting with straight legs. Advanced version adds combinations of footwork, backward slide, backward step of it, side step of it, random multiple steps, all at maximum speed.
Okay, covered intense training. Now, actual combat strategies, attacking and counterattacking techniques in a match. Sounds like different categories of attacks based on directness and complexity.
Yes, that's right. Attacks can be categorized by how directly they target and how many movements are involved. Single direct attack, typically preemptive when opponent shows no reaction or seems about to attack. Multiple direct attack, 2+ movements, often mixing feet and fists quickly. Single indirect attack, one main movement, incorporating a strategic step or feint to set it up. Multiple indirect attack, 2+ movements, including preparatory steps feints. More broadly, the book categorizes attack techniques into 7 areas: basic foot, counter kick from standing, attack defense with steps feints, grounded kicking, jump kick, advanced kicking, hand-foot combinations. Numerous possibilities within each.
The book also gives specific attacking tactics for different opponent types.
Yeah.
Incredibly valuable strategic info.
It truly is. Facing a taller, larger opponent, constantly adjust distance, move in quickly, move away quickly. Use combination attacks, harder for larger opponent to defend sequentially. Use a cut kick, maybe with a feint, to stop their forward momentum. Can also use this cut kick feint defensively with a fist to create space.
Unfamiliar opponent.
Use a variety of attacks feints, early whole body, hands, feet to carefully evaluate reactions, find patterns, weaknesses. If no strong reaction, try a short, quick cut kick or fast step axe kick. Consider rear foot techniques like spin, backspin, hook. If they counter your attacks with a spin back, a strategic response could be a 2-movement cut kick with a feint to draw out their spin.
Aggressive attacker.
Counter strategies might include a quick front round kick or short axe kick to disrupt their rhythm, or skillfully sidestepping their attack, then countering from an off-center angle. Hesitant, non-moving opponent, inexperienced or waiting to counter. Choose an accurate, fast attack like front cut kick into round kick combo or jumping front foot axe kick to establish control.
What about facing a left-footed opponent? That can present unique challenges.
Yeah, facing a southpaw. First, assess their left foot dominance. If their attack counter skills aren't super aggressive from that stance, maybe maintain an open stance yourself. Use a front cut kick while closing distance with hand-foot combos. If they attack with front cut kick, then round kick, potential counter is your own right foot front cut kick, immediately followed by a well-timed spin back kick.
What if the lefty just stands there?
If they remain stationary, might be inexperienced or waiting to counter. Again, a fast, accurate attack combo like front cut kick into round kick is often a good option to disrupt their potential counter and gain offense. The book actually gives 7 specific attack options for when an opponent switches stance mid-match, considering why they might switch: habit, left dominant, preparing back kick.
Counterattacking is a distinct, crucial skill set, responding to and exploiting their offense.
Exactly. Book gives detailed counter strategies for common attacks. Example: opponent throws double round kick. Counter: quickly step sideways, 45 degrees, evading first kick, then immediately deliver powerful rear foot round kick to their waist as they follow through with second kick.
Alternative:
Again, step sideways to avoid first kick, then respond with your own double round kick combo trunk first, then trunk or face. Counter to an induced double round, maybe after their feint. Sidestep as they start first kick. Attack with your rear leg as they land from first kick, preparing for second.
against a fast, linear kick.
Good tactic. Fake forward slightly, slide front foot, might bait them. React to their first motion, feet together cross in running step, by moving quickly straight back or sideways 45 degrees. Counter with round kick, trunk face, off rear foot as they make second motion, starting their kick or dropping leg. Alternatives: your own double round kick, right to trunk face, then left to face, or powerful rear axe kick, left to face.
Elf rage climb.
Counter. First block their attack, 4G X kick, then immediately punch their chest. Create space positioning for dynamic jump spin back kick. Other options after block punch: double round kick, scissor step, then rear round kick, jump spin back kick, rear crescent kick, rear round kick.
Against an axe kick from their rear foot.
One counter. Step your front foot straight back, no pivot. Immediately launch double round kick, left to trunk, right to trunk face. Another strategy: as they move forward for axe kick, step back, lean away. Counter with rear foot round kick just as their kick peak starts dropping. Maybe use your first step lane as a feint. Possible to follow up with triple round or spin hook after stepping back.
Countering a spin back kick attack.
One sequence: quick hop step, then sharp cut kick to rib strung. Immediately follow with powerful rear round kick to trunk face. Setup: ready stance, feint, low, middle, cut kick. As they turn for spin back, Deliver second, direct cut kick to rib hip area. Aim right to stop rotation. Follow immediately with double round kick combo.
Another spin back
Or
combo.
each chamber step backward to evade initial spin, followed by rear round kick to trunk face. Initiate maybe with low hop front cut kick. As they rotate, quickly rechamber front leg back to avoid strike. Launch rear leg round kick as their leg comes around. Shift weight forward for power.
Countering someone trying to clinch.
Quickly back out using half circle foot movement. Immediately followed by right leg round kick to trunk as they try to close distance.
Now shifting to a less glamorous but vital aspect.
Yeah.
Making weight. A strategic element impacting performance, right?
It is indeed. Weight classes ensure fairer competition, making weight vital for most competitive Taekwondo athletes. A systematic approach should be part of the training plan. Athletes' weight relative to their division directly influences performance, positively or negatively. That's why there's often stress around weigh-ins.
How does it fit into prep?
Effective weight control is key in pre-match prep. Interestingly, lighter divisions often focus on losing weight. Welter light heavyweight might sometimes aim to gain weight strategically for mass power.
The book outlines typical weight classes and discusses safe weight loss capability timeframe, not one size fits all.
No, definitely not. Typical classes might vary, but book mentions maybe 8 male, 4 female. Capability and time frame for loss vary hugely based on past experience, current status, juvenile versus adult, metabolism. Book cautions against rapid, extreme loss, highlights potential dangers. Younger athlete might safely lose a pound or two, adult maybe a bit more, but drastic measures ill-advised.
What are common weight control methods, both healthier, sustainable ones and potentially less healthy, rapid ones?
Healthier, sustainable. Mainly regular exercise, carefully planned balanced diet, moderate perspiration through training. Some athletes unfortunately use less healthy temporary rapid methods, saunas, rubber suits for fluid loss. Book notes potential harm of pharmaceuticals like diuretics laxatives, implying they're generally not recommended.
Rapid strategy.
Often involves severely restricting food fluid 3 to 4 days before weigh-in, plus measures to increase body heat for water loss. But the book strongly advocates a long-term plan, gradual loss, maybe 2-3 pounds via exercise diet. Maintains stable condition, can improve flexibility performance, avoids body stress.
What are potential risks of unreasonable, rapid short-term weight loss?
Significant risks, negatively impacting athletes many ways. Anemia from nutritional deficiencies, severe fatigue, decreased energy, often from malnutrition, nausea, vomiting, bloating, digestive issues, general decline in health immune function, ultimately significantly increased likelihood of underperforming or failing in the match due to depletion.
Interesting about the modern trend of weigh-ins the day before competition. Allows crucial recovery time.
Exactly. Body is 70–80% water. Rapid loss via extreme measures often means significant fluid loss, dehydration, bad for performance and digestion, cramps, impaired function. Weigh-in day before gives athletes who cut weight vital time to start rehydrating, replenishing electrolytes.
What should they consume after weigh-in?
Book recommends sports drinks, carbs, minerals, water at regular intervals. Focus on nutritional replacement with easily digestible foods, energy bars to rebuild reserves. If time permits, stick to familiar foods to avoid digestive upset on competition day.
The book strongly emphasizes a long-term healthy approach. What does that sustainable plan involve?
Most effective healthy. Well-structured long-term plan, reasonable sustainable target weight, achieved via consistent exercise, carefully controlled food intake. Caloric intake based on goals. Exercise focuses on burning fat while maintaining muscle. Several smaller balanced meals, usually better than few large ones for stable energy hunger management.
High specifics.
Moderate, well-balanced intake of all basic food groups, tailored to individual needs training demands. Book references nutrition guides resources. Specifically mentions carbs before, during, after practice, after weigh-in. Pre-match can help increase exercise duration performance. Moderate, easily digestible meals 3–4 hours before match recommended. Book reiterates dehydration unhealthy, detrimental. Firmly advocates long-term systematic plan exercise diet as a cornerstone of effective weight control and overall health. Healthy body, performance foundation, achieving athletic goals.
Okay, reach the final phase.
Yeah.
Controlling the match itself, where all the physical, mental, tactical prep comes together.
Exactly. Thorough pregame prep is crucial for control. Gathering info on opponent, style, dominant foot, preferred techniques, weaknesses. Warm-up comprehensive, stretching, focused deep breathing for relaxation.
And conserving energy during the match is key for maintaining control, especially in longer bouts.
Absolutely. Good timing in attacks counters is fundamental for conserving energy. Carefully observing opponents' posture, stance, distance, habits, feints gives valuable clues about their likely methods rhythms, lets you anticipate, react more efficiently.
Using your own feints helps too.
Yeah, a variety of your own feints serves multiple purposes. Create attacking chances for yourself, induce them to attack so you can strategically counter. The more accurately you read their intentions, the better you time movements, avoid wasted effort. Even without pre-match info, actively collect it early in the fight using feints footwork to analyze reactions, then adjust strategy.
Interesting how much you can learn just observing their initial posture and stance.
Yes, experienced fighters often have subtle but revealing cues. Aggressive, attack-oriented style often means feet relatively forward, signaling intent to close distance. Counter-attacker might have front foot angled, 45 degrees, back foot wider, 90 to 110 degrees, indicating readiness to reactivate.
How does recognizing that help?
Provides valuable insights into their likely approach, lets you anticipate moves, exploit inherent weaknesses, attackers vulnerable to counters, counterattackers may be hesitant to initiate, can tailor initial tactics, maybe more probing feints against a counterfighter before committing to a confident attack.
What about reacting to an opponent's speed or capitalizing when they seem fatigued or hesitant?
Facing a faster opponent, generally sound strategy is create more distance moving back. Critical point. Best time to attack them is often just as their feet land after a technique they're momentarily less mobile. Avoid staying still or moving back only slightly risks being continuously pressured. Instead, create significant distance or move sideways for an opening.
Exploiting fatigue.
If you see signs heavy breathing, hesitation after your feint, frustration after failed signature, move prime moments to capitalize. Similarly, if they seem physically limited, slowed movement, common with beginners, look to exploit. Of course, score heavily influences strategy. Comfortably ahead, maybe more conservative. Tied or behind, need more calculated risks.
Creating openings and using feints effectively seems central to dictating flow and controlling the match.
Absolutely. Openings often appear when they change posture stance, are fully extended attacking, or moving laterally. Pay close attention to their reactions to your feints. Even subtle weight guard shifts indicate anticipation. If they consistently move back after your feint, might suggest lack of confidence engaging, good time for you to launch a committed attack.
Tailoring feints.
Most effective feints are tailored to opponents' movements tendencies. Well-executed feints disrupt concentration, create openings, persuade them to attack into your prepared counter. If style unclear from posture, use various feints, but body, analyze reactions, then control match using your best skills, maybe vary speed, short, fast axe kick feint, long shortcut kick, pushing kick, front back foot steps, back foot feint to sidestep attack. After gathering info, make informed decision. Initiate attack or adopt counter strategy. Quick decision based on accurate analysis, proper skill timing crucial for maintaining control.
It sounds relentless.
In Taekwondo sparring, attack is often continuous. Lost opportunity might not return. Hesitation often stems from anxiety. Trust skills. Stop worrying about counterattack. Prepare instantly. Quickly decide attack type based on read, offensive, defensive, skills, movement. Attack faster than their likely counter. Feints key for control. Fast step kicks effective against attacks counters. Counter specialists struggle with fast attackers. Finally, strong desire to win generates psychological energy motivation, suppresses tension excitement, sustains resolve. When weakness exposed, attack boldly. Best timing, instinct, power, speed.
The book then gets into specific attacking tactics for various match scenarios. Simultaneous attack, good opening, opponent near limit line, losing slightly, final 20 seconds.
Yes, critical in match management requiring specific strategy. If opponent attacks simultaneously, option 1, absorb block, then counter with stronger kick. Option 2, close in fast with fist continuous attack, then rotate pivot escape. Good attacking opening presents itself. Assertive pushing kick, tornado double round combo, strong back kick, often highly effective.
Opponent near the limit line.
Judge reaction to your feint steps. If an active waiting, safe but confident, bold attack is good. Maybe induce warning by pushing them out with cut push kick, front back. Continuous motion, cut push, asserts dominance near line. Note, warning usually only if they retreat out without exchanging techniques. If both engaged, usually no penalty.
Losing by a slight margin.
Avoid reckless attacks, increases vulnerability, makes defeat likely. Focus on controlling pace or rhythm with assured, precise moves. Maybe strategically drive them to corner limit line using cut, push, jump, push, kick to restrict movement, create chance. Or attempt bold, continuous face attack, double round, spin back, running axe for higher value score. or try to induce warning penalty against them for point deduction.
Final 20 seconds.
Score can reverse quickly. 2 points for face, 1 for knockdown, standing down, can change outcome dramatically. Never lower guard, become careless and active, risks warning or decisive score against you. Maintain tension focus. Ruffle them with flurries of feints, dynamic footwork, continuous motion, cut push running acts. Try stopping attack, then immediately launching another continuous series, closing in or moving back. Be keenly aware of openings. Maintain coolness confidence. Seize any last second chance.
Finally, no athlete operates alone. The book concludes with winning with a coach. Clearly a vital partnership.
Absolutely. Collaborative game prep, athlete coach, ideally starts 2 weeks before competition. Focus on managing diet weight, allow adjustment time. Coach key in objectively identifying strength weaknesses, preparing technique tactics, precise explanation of shortcomings, ensuring optimal psychological state.
That's 2 weeks.
Finishing period. Emphasis shifts to refining strengths while still addressing weaknesses. Once weight made, day before ideally, focus on rest relaxation, light jog, music, light swim maybe. Prepare ice cooler for stadium, ice packs, water, towel. Wise to have emergency food, energy bars, fruit for during game nutrition if needed.
Arriving at the venue.
About 1 hour before match, coach helps collect final info, helps athlete mentally adapt, analyze potential opponents, maybe record matches. During match, coach's role shifts to clear, concise, sideline encouragement, tactical instruction. But crucial, athlete in ring makes final decisions based on unfolding situation. Clear communication between rounds, essential for adjustments.
The injury example is powerful.
Yeah, collegiate event, winning athlete, injured knee. Doctor recommended stopping, athlete wanted to continue. Coach made tough but responsible call to forfeit to protect long-term health despite likely win. Coach also reminds athlete to manage excitement, stay focused on scoring, maintain tension, concentration, deep breaths before rounds, help relax, refocus. Regardless of outcome, coach praises effort positives, instills continued confidence, collaboratively analyzes match for improvements, helps set realistic, motivating new goals, continue a cycle of support, guidance, development.
This deep dive into competitive Taekwondo has really illuminated its multifaceted nature. It's far beyond just physical skill, isn't it? A profound blend of mental fortitude, strategy, understanding rules, and subtle combat nuances.
Absolutely. We've explored the immense dedication, rigorous training, the paramount importance of mental control under pressure, and the sophisticated tactical approaches essential for success.
For me, what stands out is the incredible emphasis on reading opponents' subtle cues, the intricate strategies in feinting and timing. The detailed breakdown of weight management, injury prevention also underscore the immense demands on these athletes. What resonated most with you?
What's particularly insightful is that seamless, inseparable integration of physical and mental. You can't truly excel without deep understanding of both. The sheer level of strategic thinking, even in split-second decisions late in a match, is compelling, highlights the intellectual dimension of this physical discipline.
So for you listening, what aspect sparked your greatest interest? Has this discussion raised further questions, specific techniques, training methods, the psychological elements?
We'd certainly encourage exploring competitive Taekwondo further if this conversation piqued your curiosity. Master Kil's book is a truly valuable resource, packed with info and practical insights for anyone seeking deeper understanding.
And on that note, consider this. In a sport demanding such extraordinary, precise physical control, perhaps ultimate mastery lies not just in perfecting techniques, but in that unpredictable, ever-evolving dance between mind and indomitable spirit, all within the defined, yet surprisingly nuanced rules of engagement. Thanks for diving deep with us.